What's up, YouTube? It's Pastor Bob. Happy 4th of July to everybody. Happy 4th of July weekend. Well, this is some information for people who own the Manco Dingos. They have a habit of breaking in certain spots. And one of the most detrimental spots is in the front end. Now, let me show you how I fixed it this time, and I shouldn't have any more problems. And I want to explain a couple things to you guys. If you look at the front axle, right, on a regular Dingo, it has this bar that comes up and then this piece here. This piece is not there. I added that today on both sides. What happens is sometimes when people put the spring on top of the axle, they sock it down too much. And what happens is when you're bouncing over a lot of bounces and holes and stuff like that, what happens is right down in this area right here, it'll break and crack. And it'll bust right off. Or it'll bust down in here. So to eliminate that, there's a couple of precautions that you can make. First off, this ear's a little bent now, which is nothing I can do about it, but I've reinforced it so it'll be fine. When you sock this down, you don't have to sock it down to where it curls down. Just bring it down to where it meets that spring, and that's it. Don't squish the spring or anything like that. Okay? That's the first thing to avoid the problem. Second thing is, if you can run a bead up through the middle here of 60-30 or something like that for welding, that's a good idea. It'll reinforce that inside spot. But I think ultimately the best thing to do is take and put yourself a piece of metal in this area right here. So what you're doing is you're making a gusset between these points, and it will give you an evenly disbursement of strength here. It will be really, really strong. Okay? That's the best method to take. Okay? Put in a little extra effort. Make yourself a couple of gussets. So you can see the gusset on this side, and then you can come over to this side, and then you can see how this is all welded here, and there's another gusset here. And you should have no issues. Now if you look on my Manco Dingo, I got it leaning out a little bit more. And there's a reason for that. When I cut corners with this Dingo, this thing will cut on a dime. This thing does not play any games. I had the hell of a time for the longest time getting around the corner. I was studying Ackerman's theory, and I was trying to figure out the Ackerman's theory. Well, they had it back, but they didn't have it out enough. So I changed the Ackerman's theory on the front of it, and you guys can go online and read and study about the Ackerman's theory. It's not overly complicated, but you really need to pay attention. It ain't a 2-minute class, you know. You got to really understand it. And then I changed the backwards angle on it. So if you look, you can see a top view of how it is, and then you can see a back view, and you can see how they're leaning back a little bit. And I have found that when you're steering and you want to make a sharp corner, this is the best way to go about it. So I hope this helps you guys. I know some guys have been having some issues, and I really haven't taken the time to address it. And so I figured that now is the time. It's 4th of July weekend. I know everybody's going to be out there for the next 4 days, partying and riding their go-karts and things like that. If you have this issue, or you're having this issue, this will work. I mean, I'm just telling you. I just been lazy and putting it off. And yesterday I was riding with my brother, and I was waiting for it to go again, you know, because I knew it was going to happen. And I said, the next time, I'll gusset it. And I won't have that issue anymore. I was just lazy. I just didn't want to put in the time or the effort to do it. And this time I was like, I ain't dealing with it no more. Because I ride really hard around here over bumps, and I'm constantly banging the crap out of it. Not just that, but you can tell back here. I have busted and banged, and I have welded and banged and broken bolts off of it. You know, 9/16 bolts, I've snapped them right off the frame. Right off of the cage. I mean, this thing takes a pounding. This ain't no little girl cart. And I don't mean anything bad by that. What I mean is I don't ride it dainty. Okay? You're not going to the prom with this thing. Okay? You're going to war with it. That's just how I think of it when I ride this thing. It's just the war beast. I have fixed and welded and fixed and welded and fixed and welded, and you know, it's just the way it is. This whole back cage, I have redone the whole back cage. Why? Because I flipped it. I don't know how many times I flipped it. That's why I have a, 5-point harness now. For that reason. I'm just crazy. So, if you're going to be hard on these things, and you're going to ride off-road with these Dingos, there's a lot of little things that you got to check out. I mean, you really do. The biggest thing is your steering. You lose your steering, well, it ain't going to be too long before you shit out a lot. You can look down in there, and I even got the right side reinforced. So, take your time, look over your cages before you go out riding. Make sure you ain't got no cracks and stuff like that. Everybody wants to just go, go, go. Nobody wants to check their equipment, Stop. Take 5-10 minutes. Just look over your stuff. You'll be surprised. Those bolts, sometimes them nuts will back themselves off, right? Check your bolts. Make sure you grease them up. Lube them up good, right? That's what keeps them moving. That's what keeps you from having to replace them bearings. Take your time. Look over your sprocket. Make sure your chain's not loose. If it is, loosen up your bolts. Readjust it. Check your belt out. Make sure that your torque converter's clean. Do your preventive maintenance checks and services. Make sure you change your oil. These things in the long run are going to save you a lot of money. I'm telling you. And the safety portion of it. I mean, I carry a first aid kit and a fire extinguisher. That's how hard I run. If you're going to run these, overpowered motors, these stage 3 motors, look, they may be built, but that doesn't mean that it can't come apart. That's just the way it is. Wildcat makes great motor, but I'll tell you what, even with the best parts, they can fail. So take your time, check over your stuff, make sure you change your oil, look over your cart, and that will make things a lot safer for you guys. Alright guys, well take care. I hope this was beneficial to you, this video. If so, please like, share, subscribe. This is Pastor Bob, and I'm out of here. See ya.